Why is the fundamental structure of prize support in Magic the Gathering just collapsing? Specifically in regards to the Arena Direct program that looks to reward players with booster boxes of the current Magic set. Now, there's been a growing sentiment online of the problem with fulfillment and just the program overall on Magic Arena. I think it's a great idea, it's just the implementation of it is kind of faulty. Honestly, in terms of an idea though, it's a pretty sweet one. I myself don't participate in them. I am an Arena player just by Timeless, but if you wanted to get a competitive edge online and win great prizes, it's actually a really great EV. Based on the current gem pricing, it's about $30 to get in 5,000 gems. You need 6 wins and max of 2 losses. Once you're at 3, you're out, and then you win a booster box. The EV part of it is that many people quote this as actually being a really casual event. It's not just competitive grinders, so a lot of times you can have a minimal understanding of the format and just coast your way to a win. I mean, on the latest MTG Goldfish podcast, you got Saffron Olive talking about how Tomer, actually just being a primarily commander player, went on an Arena Direct and actually coasted through an event. Regardless of all of that, I wanted to provide an update to this situation. Wizards of the Coast actually put out an article to provide us with some changes to the Arena Direct program. This is likely in response to the growing resentment of the failures of the program, but also I think speaks to the larger issue of competitive Magic, where we've had issues with structure and clarity, but now if our prize support is at stake, I think there really is a real conversation that needs to be had around the failure of competitive Magic as a whole. I wanted to start this video by framing with Hasbro reporting a 45% increase in Magic revenue in Q1 2025 compared to last year. And someone actually provided a great just kind of visual from the article itself about how Wizards of the Coast has its revenue driver breakdown, and a good reason why we probably won't be seeing Spider-Man online, because the tabletop revenue is absolutely insane, but of course the Wizards digital revenue is just kind of down overall, and not down, it's just not as high, I should say. And so I think that's where that discrepancy is. So it feels like when it comes to prizing out digital rewards, it's not that much of a focus, especially when it comes to Arena. Now, when you think about Magic Online versus Magic Arena, Magic Online does a good imitation of an actual Magic economy and does a good representation of 1-for-1. It's kind of like a by proxy system, whereas Magic Arena is just like a separate game. That's how they've made it. They've gamified it. There's no direct connection necessarily to paper, other than like sometimes you go to your pre-release and you get codes and you get 3 packs online. Like, that's your direct connection. And now the Arena Direct program is a way for you to bridge that gap, where you can win these events, win booster boxes, collector boxes, whatever it is, and then be able to kind of convert those obviously into your paper collection or into real money, quote unquote. And so that's that bridge. And that's why a lot of people are generally excited about a program like this. Whereas on Magic Online, you can win whole sets, which you can kind of trade in place for some type of currency or some type of set online. I believe they let go of the redemption system before. I believe that has happened, where you could kind of redeem a certain amount of resources online for a full set in paper, but there is a level of the 1-for-1 in terms of economy of Magic Online, but it's very different. You'll see like vintage decks being a couple $100s versus like tens of thousands in paper. So all of that is to say, Hasbro's making more money. The digital aspect of it isn't really, so that might inform some of the things we talk about here. So this is the kind of announcement here. They're going to talk Alchemy, Tarkir, Arena Direct updates, and more. This came out on the 21st of April, so literally just earlier this week. But really, we want to kind of approach this from the beginning, and this has been going on for a couple of months. I'm just going to be showcasing some of the more recent things that has been going on, but I'm pretty sure if you go down Fire Shoes' Twitter, I've been bookmarking some of these and saving them over time because the story's been developing. But from Nacho here, friendly reminder that winning an Arena Direct event might not even be good enough to get you the boxes. Multiple tickets opened. This person has not been able to get their boxes and has been able to prove, at least to the best of their ability, that they have won these events, but according to Wizard support, their account doesn't showcase that they've won these events. And so it's like you've paid $30 over and over again to win these boxes. And of course, some people might think like, oh, these are just grinders taking advantage of the system. But I mean, to be fair, they paid their money. They, signed up for the rules of engagement. They should gain the prizes that they played for. At the end of the day, regardless of how easy or hard the event is, they went through their time. They got their 6 wins in said event. And Robert here says Arena's customer service for Arena Direct is actually F tier. wouldn't recommend playing these events anymore. And that's generally the sentiment that's been happening. And the big thing I wanted to point out is that this is happening with Voxy. One of Magic's bigger personalities has gone to multiple cons. You probably know of them. I mean, if you don't watch Voxy specifically, you've probably seen Voxy on the Shuffle Up and Play show on Tolarian Community College. And so one of Magic's bigger personalities having issues getting boxes they've won. So how can myself, as well as the other people commenting on this post with the same issue, go about getting the boxes we won? I had an open ticket for a few weeks and have had no response. On April 10th, they've said, I haven't heard anything about the Duskmorn boxes I won on Magic the Gathering Arena like a month ago. Has anyone heard anything? And so a lot of these issues have been culminating. And I think, again, like by Voxy kind of talking about this, I feel like this is a big thing. And especially this was done on April 15th. They probably had the idea of, like, you know, the 21st article probably for a couple of weeks now. A lot of people have been talking about the Arena Direct issues, but I think Voxy talking about this was a big catalyst for moving this forward. So this is the article itself. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I'm going to go over some of the highlights here, especially just because a lot of it is actually really vague, which is frustrating. So they go over some like general stuff. You know, we've learned some hard lessons on product fulfillment and how to build a program like this from ground up. Armed with both engagement data and better understanding of costs associated with product fulfillment, we're making changes to better match player behavior while ensuring what we can sustainably manage the cost of Arena Direct events. Okay, so let's go into product fulfillment. So you're going to notice here, they made a vague statement. Can they clarify further as to what they're doing with this data? Like, they've learned something. How do we now apply that? So product fulfillment, 2024 was a year of learning. They said here, but thanks to some work behind the scenes, most 2025 winners received their rewards within 3 to 4 weeks of completing an event. Okay, so I don't like most. Again, if you're talking about how data has taught you something, I would like to see data provided. And when it's not, that it's nothing to brag about. As someone who works in corporate as well, when you don't present data, it's nothing you want to brag about. So in this case, most can mean 50.1%. That is technically the majority. That is technically most. And now I'm being hyperbolous with that one, but having a majority doesn't mean much if you don't present a number. Now you're saying the majority of them get them within 3 to 4 weeks. Now Voxy talking about, you know, in April for over a month, they haven't gotten their product. By the time it hits the 15th, that's over 3 to 4 weeks. So Voxy is now part of this. That being said, that's not perfect. Some players have delays. We have some quality assurance before events go live. With these changes in place, Arena Direct support tickets are now resolved Arena Direct support tickets are now resolved on under 7 days on average, down from an average of 16 days in 2024. Okay, the system is improving. In addition, customer satisfaction scores are up 40% from last year. Are they up from 40% from just 5%? Like, what does that mean? What is the baseline number, right? So again, we're showcasing an increase, but relative to what? So that's it around product fulfillment. We're continuing to work our shipping and fulfillment partners to improve delivery times globally. Logistics remain challenging, especially for international shipping, but we're committed to finding solutions to these problems. Okay, all of that is to say, they did not list a single tangible way that they are improving things. They've talked about how things have improved, but they've not talked about how they've done this. Have they gone about more training? Have they gone with a new agency? Have they gone with new distributors? Like, what are they tangibly doing to improve the situation? They've talked about none of that. And I think that's my big red flag with this section here. And again, with your digital platform, I guess not making enough money, but this acting as a bridge to paper, I feel like this event has a lot more to it than a lot of people kind of give it credit for. Again, just because it ties into paper, not in a direct way. It's not creating an economy and a trade system like Magic Online, but it does mean something. In terms of the taxes, the big highlight is Wizards of the Coast will continue to cover US tax obligations for international players who win physical product. That's got to mean something. Okay, shout out to that. I will shout out to that in terms of the tax system. Now, the structure updates are the big ones. Now, a variety of Arena Direct events, sealed and draft, and varying rewards. play boosters, collector boosters, festival boxes, whatever, to engage players. Additionally, we'll continue holding Arena Direct events for Universes Beyond releases. So again, this is a situation where we already know that if you talk to LGS, especially in the Toronto area, I've had conversations with LGSs and owners talking about how with the Final Fantasy sets, the commander deck boxes are completely gone, the bundles are gone, like a lot of the basic stuff is just gone. It is one of these collector sets that's just going to be taken to an extreme. And right now, I have credible sources telling me that Tarkir is not in print. Two major distributors in the Toronto area don't even have Tarkir, like play booster Tarkir boxes as of the recording of this video. They do not have Tarkir play booster boxes. And so right now, one of the LGSs that I go to don't actually have product available for sealed. So this Arena Direct event is a way from Wizards of the Coast to directly win some of these underprinted sets. And I'm extrapolating here. We don't know if these sets are going to be underprinted. This is an unprecedented thing to happen. But I imagine with the rising cost of things and the increased FOMO that happens, we can only expect it to get worse with the Universes Beyond product, which is why I wanted to bring up the fact that, yes, we are having currently in the Toronto area issues in terms of product availability for Magic the Gathering, like Bandai levels of stuff. And for some reason, for a company that cannot directly acknowledge the secondary market, but still spells direct to consumer and sells $60 secret layers of 5 cards that don't really, that aren't really worth anything. Somehow these folks that can print out pieces of cardboard that are worth pennies for them and sell them at exorbitant prices can't actually print enough of them. So how do we expect this to work with the Universes Beyond program? Because now I'm kind of scared to think that people are like, okay, I can't get my play boosters potentially from my LGS. I'm going to try and play these Arena Direct events, but are we having these supply chain issues or these print issues with Arena Direct? Because to my knowledge, based on previous information and previous videos I've done, Magic is printed in the US and there's places in Europe as well, but a lot of it is done in the US. So it's not really a shipping international issue. Like you're in North America, especially for myself in Canada, we're just across the border. Yes, we have tariffs, but that shouldn't affect supply. There should be supply of these cards. So is the Arena Direct event going to be further kind of affected by lack of supply? A lot of things to kind of break down there. And so, what's changing in terms of structure? So as I mentioned, you need to get 6 wins. 6 wins up to 2 losses. Once you get to your 3rd, you're out of the event. Players now need to, what's changing is players now need to earn 7 wins before reaching 2 losses. 2 losses. Okay, so that means the number of losses has actually gotten worse. So look at this, 0 to 3 wins, no rewards, right? So nothing there. 0 to 2 wins, no rewards. And so the problem here is that you haven't changed the number of losses here, but you've increased the number of wins required to get to that top. Now they've spread out some of the pricing, but the problem already is that we're not shipping out some of the rewards. So is this even worth it, really? Right? So we've increased the gem rewards at every qualifying win, including starting rewards at 3 wins instead of 4 to support players who value repeat entries. We added MTG Arena packs as prizes to support digital collection building, and play booster events provide physical rewards at both 6 and 7 wins, which is, a valuable thing. But now it's kind of increased even further. So rather than being a flat dollar amount, event entries for Arena Directs increasing from 5,000 gems to 6,000 gems. Entries for Arena Direct Universes Beyond product will be rewarded with, oh my God, I had a reaction looking at this. 8,000 gems. Folks, let me just bring this up here. Because I actually just I know I edited it into the intro, but this is my screen grab. So let's break this down. This is literally as the recording of this video today. 9,000 gems, so 1,600 gems, 3,400 gems. That gets you to 5,000. $10, $20, that's $30. $30 USD to enter the regular events. Okay, that's 5,000 gems. Now, roughly, the gem amounts are really weird, but roughly now it's going to cost you $40 to play the non-Universes Beyond Arena Direct events for Tarkir. It's going to be roughly $40. You're going to be stuck with 3,800 gems, but it's $40. For the, oh my God, for the Universes Beyond events, in current play booster sets that are already not available in the Toronto area through major distributors already having supply issues, and we already know that pre-order prices and are really high, but pre-order product is already being sold out everywhere. We're already having quote unquote supply issues with current events, current product, that we're going to have supply issues with products down the line. How is it that now we're going to have entry be 8,000 gems? 8,000 gems. Let's break that down. So that's you know, two of these, so $40, 10 and 10. You know, what is that? That's 6,400. And then you buy like one of these, so it's like another $10. So that's like that's gonna leave you with like 8,200 gems, 8,400 gems, something like that. So it's gonna be $50 in total to get that product. It is going to be, for some reason, premium priced. We are going to have to pay for the licensing fees, as always, as we've already seen. So with that increased cost, we now have to pay more, win more, right? And to be fair, at 6 wins, you do gain 1 play booster box, but the wins before that, right? You start evening out. So let's say 6,000 gems, you break close to even, I would say, like here at 4 wins because of the MTG arena packs. I will say the arena packs are something. It does help with collection building, and it does enable more players to just get in on the event. But I feel like on average, like my prediction here is that if we're rewarding MTG arena packs, the casual player will be more incentivized to get back in, but that also means the pool dilutes for the grinders. Like, it just becomes easier for grinders to just go through this. Like, I almost want to just like play these events all the time to just like keep winning these boxes. The problem is I'm just going to keep paying money, and I might win a portion of these and just like not get my stuff fulfilled. And so right here with the arena, the new, so this is the play booster arena direct. This is the collector booster arena direct. And so at 7 wins, you'll be winning a collector booster, but you don't even get that at 6 wins. At 6 wins, you just get gems back. You're just stuck back into the economy. You can't trade out the gems. Now, the gems obviously can be used for more events. You can just keep playing the same collector booster event and just go back in, and then you're net on gems. That's fair too. But again, you're stuck with product that's in the system. Again, this is a video game. This is not an approximation like MTGO is of the physical product. Universes Beyond play booster. Look at this. So you get, it's increased entry, but you know, the same reward structure. But you do get more, I should say. I shouldn't be completely facetious here. So, you know, 5 wins, 8,100 gems, but at 8,000, you do get more wins at 5 gems. But again, the MTG arena packs, I don't think will solve the issue of what's going on here. And we also have to remember, I can't find the tweet for this. If you're this far in the video, if someone could link it to me. I've seen it on Twitter. I was trying to look it up. My research skills are really bad. I didn't bookmark this. But there actually now is I think Saffron Olive had the tweet. I just couldn't find it. But there is now a tax on those boxes. Those boxes can now be taxed at the border. So if you're getting them, I believe as a Canadian, as a European, those boxes can now be taxed. So now you are playing these arena collector booster box events, these play booster box events. You're trying to get them to open or just sell, but then you're losing like half of the value of that box in the tax. So what is the point of playing these anyway? It's just better, I feel like, I don't know, if you're not trying to resell them, like just buy them on the secondary market and hold. Like, I don't even know. Like, what is the best way to do this? Like, it just feels so marginal in terms of what it's supposed to be. Because I guess it's fair, like, we shouldn't be playing this for the ability to like resell, but isn't that kind of the point of price support? Like, you should be positive on EV way above if you're like winning these events. If you're like the top of these events and you are meeting the criteria, shouldn't you be getting that EV? And this is the corrosion of the at least the price support to me in Magic the Gathering. This is part of it, because again, we are gaining fake digital product, which in a way is fine. That's okay, because as they mentioned, for the collector, it's good. It'll introduce more casual players into it as a way to get Magic Arena packs, which is fair. But it also means that you're stuck in this ecosystem with the vast majority of wins, and then you have to get back in, spend that time to redraft, re-get into your sealed pool, do all that again to win another collector booster box. The problem is that once you do all of that, we still have not given any tangible way or methodology to increase the efficacy of getting that product to you. We have not stated that in this article whatsoever. And therein lies my fundamental issue. So Nacho here talking about how increased number of wins are in boxes without increasing losses. Entry fee now 6K gems, and now giving out digital packs as rewards. Vague, and this is the thing, vague and generic answers of when and how they're going to fix delays on box being delivered. There's like nothing being said here. Closing tickets without responding drops the average response time from 16 to 7 days. Yeah, so they talked about how a lot of tickets are actually being closed without being resolved. Multiple instances of folks putting in tickets to get their box situation resolved, but tickets are being closed. And so obviously that just increases the response rate of them. You're dealing with the ticket. So it's like fake statistics. It's BS, honestly. It doesn't make any sense. But of course, the rest of my content creators out there, the majority of them that are at my level would rather kind of boast and moan about Commander all day and how good the secondary market is, or I don't know, how good secret layers are, rather than address things like this. And look, I don't want to be one of those like super doomer gloomer Magic creators, but also do want to call it like it is. Okay, I know some of y'all hate like PK for that type of stuff. PK's got a different edge to it, which has its humor and everything. I just want to be direct. Okay, I may not be the most informed person out there, just taking the information as it is, but there needs to be some level of voice to this. We need to be able to call this stuff out because it's garbage. It's garbage. Like a lot of people call me like for my shill behavior, and yeah, I want to work for Wizards of the Coast. I'm a content creator. I am invested in gaining resources from them while advertising and playing their game. But also I need to be able to criticize and provide a voice to the people that are, you know, frustrated by this. And it doesn't need to just be me. Other people can go into the comment section. Other folks like Voxy are bringing light to something like this. It's like, why even play in these events? Why participate in an economy of Magic Arena that doesn't even want to support you there? And this is where ultimately leads to my MTG Nerd Girl tweet. This is one that I was thinking about making a separate video for, but I always just had it bookmarked for a little bit. You know, it came out like on 31st of March. But I thought this was a good time to bring this up. She says, Magic Twitch views are almost back to pre-arena numbers. MTG failed as an esport because it priced out its viewer base. So if you look at this, you know, back to here, almost, right? And if you look at the spread, right? So it's almost back to these numbers, but the vast majority of people watching, 25 to 34-year-olds and 35 to 44-year-olds. That is kind of the viewer base. And some of it has gone a little bit younger, some of it, right? But the vast majority of people are 25 to 44, people with income, people with the ability to spend, you know, as they're saying, no one is able to watch this game and afford it. How can you aspire to do so when you don't have to, you know, when you don't have $300 for an online mana base to even try? And that's online mana base. That's not even a mana base in paper, let alone, I mean, to be fair, the prices of fetches are actually, I mean, yo, I was looking at the price of a foil polluted delta from Cons the other day. I'm like, I mean, yo, it was like 25 Canadian dollars. And yo, that's a lot. But considering the prices of what foil fetches have been, the price of regular fetches in general, I'm just saying it's not that bad on the fetch line. Obviously that can change over time. There are certain lands that are absolutely ridiculous, and mana bases themselves are really expensive. If you look at utility lands like Urza Sagas and out there, if you look at Mox Opals, you can consider them, you know, not lands, but you know, 280 Canadian dollars for a Mox Opal is kind of crazy. The top viewed games focus on growing the player base. Wizards focuses on seeing how far they can push the MSRP of basic game pieces to existing players. Rather than creating an accessible game, they've turned to Universes Beyond to bring in whales from other IPs to compensate for the players they are pricing out. And that is the whole model of mobile gaming, where, you know, you see those mobile gaming ads where someone is playing like, I don't know, Ebony Online. Like, y'all know that one, where you play a game and it's not the game that you're seeing, or it's like the game that you're seeing on your ad is a small portion of it, but once you download it, it's like a city builder simulator or something. Like, it's not actually what you're playing. And these are the type of games that draw you in. And the vast majority of players, the vast majority of players will uninstall the minute they get in, right? They got by the ad, they got the download, but the problem is they've already added to the statistic. They've already added to the Google Play Store, Apple Play Store statistic of this game is being downloaded so many times. But to make up for those people, there are a few people, the whales, that got addicted to the game. And you see these documentaries online, YouTube, Netflix, whatever, of players spending $70, $100, $200,000 on a game over a couple of years. And they're not upset about it. These are addictive issues. These are people with addiction, just like how people that drink coffee every morning are going through an addiction. People that, like, honestly, there's so many food addictions out there. So there's so many corn addictions out there. There's so many anything addictions out there. We're addicted to our phones, right? Like the whole blue light idea. There's so many addictions in the world. And now we're dealing with this, the FOMO of Universes Beyond and Magic the Gathering. It's just a small little gotcha addiction. You know, they can't talk about how some aspects of Magic are gambling and gotcha related, but they do want to put it into their pricing model and how they bring you in as a whale. They do want to talk about it, or like they do want to do it. They just don't want to address it directly. And so this is where my problem with this is. The game isn't about playing anymore, especially when it comes to the content being pushed. The highly produced content has so many problems with it. Not a lot of people, like, you think I want to be like, look at the members of the Eternal Glory podcast, right? Shout out to them for making great legacy content, great gameplay, highly informative. But those are 3 content creators that will never become 100,000 subscriber folks. They never will, because the legacy audience isn't there. Heck, the constructed audience isn't there, because they're also split up. What constructed content creators are at 100,000 or over without an insane team behind them, editing quality? Forget the information. Forget the information in the actual gameplay. Unless you're producing like play to win, unless you're, you know, with voiceovers, cuts, and production, or game nights, or you got like, you know, it is some bigger commander content creators out there, or just being a commander content creator, how are you getting your voice heard out there? You're not. And so the competitive audience of Magic and the competitive scene and the competitive content creation landscape of Magic is just being left to the wayside. We have other content creators and cosplayers and whoever that are pushing this part of the game just to become ambassadors for the game. I say this as an ex-ambassador, just to gain the goodwill of Wizards without actually being able to critique the problem with the games. I don't know. I'm getting a little too ranty, but I wanted to use this Arena Direct issue to address some problems that I've been having. And it's not just about how the fact that I've had to do so much React content out there, just like this video, just to get my voice out there and get heard. I want to play more modern. I want to play more Pauper. And yes, unless I'm at the tippy top, doing really well, 4-1-ing, 5-0-ing leagues, people don't want to see it. People just be in my comments telling me about how I'm trash. Honestly, we've kind of moved past that. I think a lot of people are actually like good people in my comments. But there still are people that will not watch unless you're doing the best of the best. But the thing is, a lot of people out there aren't the best of the best. They just don't post that content, which is why you don't see that content at all. You just see this shill stuff, right? And then you're just stuck here. Like Nerd Girl's like talking about it like it is. As someone who runs gameplay channels and have attempted to do so with great production quality for multiple other things, it's so hard to break into this space. I've seen Nerd Girl and a couple of her folks do their Lorcana videos, the Commander videos. It's not getting the viewership that Game Nights is, but that's because Game Nights is Game Nights. They are the gold standard. Game Nights has turned into so many other content avenues for other people. Game Nights created a genre of content in the gaming space on the internet. Like Game Nights literally revolutionized content in the gaming sphere when it comes to tabletop gaming. And of course, you know, trying to break into this space, you have to do the crazy things. But anyway, I think I got to stop ranting here. I have so much to say on this topic. I want to do so much more that's different with my content. I don't want to sit here and just make react videos and just, you know, I do want to bring you the news, which I do value in videos like this, just kind of amalgamating information and providing it to you. But it's not what I always want to be doing. Yesterday, I went to go play at Pauper Locals, and it was some of the most fun I've ever had. right? And I didn't make any content with it. I just went in with a good time. And it's just really frustrating that like that's what I want to do, but that is not what will pay the bills. And unfortunately, like I like running so much of content online, like with the One Piece stuff I do, and even with like running the Mill Discord, running 2 One Piece Discords, running the secondary channel for One Piece, and trying to push like Commander content in the One Piece TCG, you know, for Emperors and all that. Managing all that, a lot of that doesn't pay the bills. What pays the bills is me with a face on a thumbnail yelling about Reddit stories. And that's what Magic content has become, because Wizards of the I can't even speak. That's what Magic content has become, because Wizards of the Coast wants it to be that way. They just want reactionary, shock value, face value stuff. And honestly, all of this to say is I'm kind of frustrated by it. Maybe this is my crash out. I'll go back to making, you know, just put the fries in the bag or whatever type of stuff. If you're this far in the video, let me know in the comment section down below. I really appreciate it. And let me know what you think in the comments on with that, you know, letting me know you're this far in the video, but also letting me know like how you feel about this, because I do read a lot of the comments that go into my long form videos. Not so much in my shorts. I got a lot of comments there, but in my long form videos, and I do like to see what people are saying. And every so often I'll leave a like and leave a heart and comment underneath them. And I just want to see how y'all are feeling about Magic content in general, and how y'all are feeling about, you know, you've seen the shift in content on the channel and what I've had to do to grow. It's just not necessarily what I want to be doing. And I think a lot of people don't want to be stuck in terms of stuck in these prizes and being forced to shill out so much just to be able to play the basics of the game.